Okay. So, Tony, can you do for them, please? Say 3 times Namo Shakyamuni Buddha, please, Tony.
Yeah. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha.
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 All right, thank you. Let us, hi, Tina. How you been, Tina?
Been pretty good.
Okay. Let me move this way out. Okay. Okay, let's us take turn to read this sutra, okay? Okay, you guys can still hear me?
Yes, I.
Okay, go ahead, Elizabeth. Can you read, please? Each of you may read 2 paragraphs. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
So I have heard. At one time, the Buddha was sitting near Rajagata in the bamboo grove, the squirrel's feeding ground. Now, at that time, the householder's son, Sigalaka, rose early and left Rajagaha. With his clothes and hair all wet, he rose his joined palms to revere the quarters, east, south, west, north, below, and above. Then the Buddha robed up in the morning, and taking his bowl and robe, entered Rajagaha for alms. He saw Sigalaka revering the quarters and said to him, "Householder's son, why are you revering the quarters in this way?"
Can you finish? Okay.
Sir, on his death, please revere the quarters, honoring, respecting, and venerating my father's words. I rose up early and left Rajagaha, and with my clothes and hair all wet, raised my joined palms to revere the quarters, east, south, west, north, below, and above.
Okay, John, please. John from Southeast, please.
The 6th quarter. Householder's sons, that's not how the 6th quarter should be revered in the training of the new one. But sir, how should the 6th quarter be revered in the training of the new one?
I keep it in the ocean.
Sir, please teach me.
When I'm in the middle of the ocean.
Well, householder's son, listen, hey.
Just imagine someone had a pet nugget on, bro.
Yes, sir.
I want a pet shark.
Laka. Buddha said that. Householder's son, a noble disciple, gives up 4 corrupt deeds, doesn't do bad deeds on 4 grounds, and avoids 6 drains on wealth. When they've left these 14 bad things behind, they have the 6 quarters covered. They're practicing to win in both worlds. They succeed in this world and the next. When their body breaks up after death, they're reborn in the good place, a heavenly realm.
Okay, Tina, please.
Four corrupt deeds. What 4 corrupt deeds have they given up? Killing living creatures, stealing, sexual misconduct, and lying. These are corrupt deeds. These are the 4 corrupt deeds they've given up. This is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, killing, stealing, telling lies, and committing adultery. Astute people don't praise these things.
Okay. Tony, please.
4 grounds. On what 4 grounds do they not do bad deeds? One does by favoritism, hostility, stupidity, and cowardice. When a noble disciple is not prejudiced by favoritism, hostility, stupidity, and cowardice, they do not do bad deeds on these grounds. on these four grounds. That is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, if you act against the teaching out of favoritism, hostility, cowardice, or stupidity, your fame shrinks like the moon in the waning fortnight. If you don't act against the teaching out of favoritism, hostility, cowardice, and stupidity, your fame swells like the moon in the waxing fortnight.
Okay, Justin, can you hear me, Justin? Can you read, Justin? All right, go ahead, Khoa, please.
What six drains on wealth do they avoid? Habitually engaging in the following things is a drain on wealth: drinking alcohol, roaming the streets at night, frequenting festivals. These six drawbacks of habitually drinking alcohol: immediate loss of wealth, promotion of quarrels, susceptibility to illness, disrepute, indecent exposure, and weakened wisdom in the sixth thing. These are the six drawbacks of habitually drinking alcohol.
Okay, Emmy, please.
There are 6 drawbacks of roaming the streets at night. Yourself, your partners and children, and your property are all about you. You're at the forefront of many things that entail suffering. These are the 6 drawbacks of roaming the streets at night. There are these 6 drawbacks of frequenting festivals. You're always thinking, where's the dancing? Where's the singing? Where's the music? Where are the stories? Where's the applause? Where are the kettle drums? These are the 6 drawbacks of frequenting festivals.
Okay, Jonathan, please.
There the losers mourn their money. There is immediate loss of wealth. A gambler's word carries no weight in public assembly. Friends and colleagues treat them with contempt, and no one wants to marry a gambler, for they think this individual is a gambler. They're not about to support a partner. These are the 6 drawbacks of habitually gambling.
Yeah, can do this one next too.
There are these 6 drawbacks of bad friends. You become friends and companions with those who are scoundrels, drunkards, addicts, frauds, swindlers, and thugs. These are the 6 drawbacks of bad friends.
Okay, Justin, do you hear us? Can you recite, Justin?
What, you want me to read?
Yes, here.
There are these 6 drawbacks of habitual laziness. You don't get your work done because you think it's too cold, it's too hot, it's too late, it's too early. I'm too hungry, I'm too full. By dwelling on so many have runs out. There are 6 drawbacks of habitual laziness. This is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, some are just drinking buddies, some call you their dear friend, but a true friend is one who stands by you in need. Sleeping late, adultery, making enemies, harmfulness, bad friends, and adversary. Bad behavior, and alms resort. A man falls to ruin in both this world and the next.
Okay, Elizabeth, please.
Dice, women, drink, song, and dance. Sleeping by day and roaming at night. Bad friends and avarice. These 6 grounds ruin a person. They play dice and drink liquor and consort with women loved by others. Associating with the worst, not the better, they diminish like the waning moon. A drunkard, broken, destitute, thirsty, drinking in the bar, drowning in debt, will quickly lose their way. When you're in the habit of sleeping late, seeing night as time to rise, and always getting drunk, you can't keep up the household life.
Okay, Tony, please.
Too cold, too hot, too late, they say. When the young neglect their work like this, riches pass them by. But one who considers hot and cold as nothing more than blades of grass, he does his manly duty, and happiness never fails. Fake friends, Householder's son, you should recognize these four enemies disguised as friends: the taker, the talker, the flatterer, the spender. You can recognize a fake friend who's all take on the foregrounds. Your possessions end up theirs. Giving little, they expect to do their duty out of fear. They associate with their own advantage. You can recognize a fake friend who's all take on these foregrounds. You can recognize.
Quiet, please.
You can recognize a fake friend who's all talk on foregrounds. They're hospitable in this trees. When something needs doing in the present, they point to their misfortune. You you can recognize a fake friend who's all talk on these foregrounds. You can recognize a fake friend who's a flatterer on foregrounds. They support you equally in doing bad and doing good. They praise you to your face and put you down behind your back. You can recognize a fake friend who's a flatterer on these foregrounds.
Okay. Tina, please.
That is what the Buddha said.
No,
Then
sorry, Tina, do it again.
Sorry. You can recognize a fake friend who's a spender on foregrounds. The streets at night, frequenting festivals and gambling. You can recognize a fake friend who's a spender on these foregrounds. That is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, one friend is all take, another all talk. One's just a flatterer and one's a friend who speaks. An astute person understands that these four enemies for what they are and keeps them at a distance, as they'd shun a risky road.
And me, please.
Householder son, you should recognize and bad, the counselor and the one who is compassionate. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's a helper on four grounds. They guard you when you're negligent. They guard your property when you're negligent. They keep you safe in times of danger. When something needs doing, they supply you with twice the money you need. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's a helper on these four grounds. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's the same in good times and bad on four grounds. They tell you secrets, they keep your secrets, they don't abandon you in times of trouble, they'd even give their life for you. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's the same in good times and bad on these four grounds.
Jonathan, please.
You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's a counselor on four rounds. They keep you from doing bad. They support you in doing good. They teach you what you do not know. They explain the path to heaven. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's a counselor on these four grounds. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's compassionate on fortune. They keep others from criticizing you. They encourage praise of you. You can recognize a good-hearted friend who's compassionate on these four grounds. That is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, a friend who's a helper, one the same in both pleasure and pain, a friend of good counsel, and one of compassion.
Okay.
An astute person.
Go ahead, Elizabeth, please.
What they are.
Elizabeth.
An astute person understands these four friends for what they are and carefully looks after them, like a mother the child at her breast. The astute and virtuous shine like a burning flame. They pick up riches as bees roaming round pick up pollen, and their riches proceed to grow like an anthill piling up. Like this, a householder does enough for their family, and they'd hold on to their friends by dividing their wealth in four. One portion is to enjoy, 2 parts invest in work, and the fourth is to keep for times of trouble.
Tina, please.
And how householder's son does a noble disciple cover these six quarters? These 6 quarters should be recognized. Parents as the cast, teachers as the south, partner and children as the west, friends and colleagues as the north, bondservants and workers as beneath, and ascetics and Brahmins as above. The child should serve their parents as the Eastern Quarter in 5 ways, thinking, I will support those who supported me. I'll do my duty for them. I'll maintain the family traditions. I'll take care of the inheritance. When they have passed away, I'll make an offering on their behalf. Parents served by the children in these 5 ways show compassion to them in 5 ways. They keep them from doing bad. They support them in doing good. They train them as in a profession. They connect them with a suitable partner. They transfer the inheritance in due time. Parents served by their children in these 5 ways show compassion to them in these 5 ways. And that and free of peril.
Okay, quiet, please.
A student should serve their teacher as the silent quarter in 5 ways: by rising for them, by serving them, by listening well, by looking after them, and by carefully learning their profession. Teachers served by their students in these 5 ways show compassion to them in 5 ways. They make sure they're well trained and well educated. They clearly explain all the knowledge of the profession they introduce. They introduce them to their friends and colleagues. They provide protection in every region to them in these 5 ways. And that's how the southern quarter is covered, kept safe and free of peril.
Okay, Tony, please.
A husband should serve his wife as the Western Quarter in 5 ways: by treating her with honor, by not looking down on her, by not being unfaithful, by relinquishing authority to her, and by presenting her with adornments. A wife served by her husband in these 5 ways shows compassion to him in 5 ways. She's not unfaithful. She preserves his earnings. She's deft and tireless in all her duties. A wife served by her husband in these 5 ways shows compassion to him in these 5 ways, and that's how the Western Quarter is covered, kept safe, and free of peril.
Vâng Anh, please. Yeah, Emmy, go ahead.
Colleagues. A gentleman should serve their friends and colleagues as the Northern Quarter in 5 ways: giving kindly words, taking care, equality, and not using tricky words. Friends and colleagues served by a gentleman in these 5 ways show compassion to them in 5 ways. They guard them when they're negligent. They guard their property when they're negligent. They keep them safe in times of danger. They don't abandon them in times of trouble. They honor their descendants. Friends and colleagues served by a gentleman in these 5 ways show compassion to them in these 5 ways. And that's how the Northern Quarter is covered, kept safe, and free of peril.
Okay.
A master.
Justin, please. Can you turn on the cam, Justin? Oh. All right, go ahead, Jonathan.
A master should serve their bondservants and workers as the lower quarter in 5 ways: by organizing work according to ability, by paying food and wages, by nursing them when sick, by sharing special treats, and by giving them time off work. Bondservants and workers served by a master in these 5 ways show compassion to them in 5 ways. They get up first, they go to bed last. They don't steal, they do their work well, and they promote a good reputation. Master in these 5 ways show compassion to them in these 5 ways, and that's how the lower quarter is covered, kept safe, and free of peril.
Okay, John from St. Louis, please.
A gentleman should serve as ascetics and Brahmins as the upper quarter in 5 ways: by loving deeds of body, speech, and mind, by not turning them away at the gate, and by providing them with with material needs. Ascetics and Brahmins served by a gentleman in these 5 ways by showing compassion to them in 5 ways. They keep them from doing bad. They support them in doing good. They think of them with kindly thoughts. They teach them what they need. They do not know. They clarify what they've already learned. They explain the path to heaven. As said, some Brahmins served by a gentleman in these 5 quarters show compassion to them in these 5 ways. Discovered, kept safe, and free of peril.
Elizabeth, please.
That is what the Buddha said. Then the Holy One, the teacher, went on to say, parents are the east, teachers the south, wives and children the west, friends and colleagues the north, servants and workers below, and ascetics and Brahmins above. By honoring these quarters, and the virtuous, the gentle and the articulate, the humble and the kind, there who win glory. The diligent, not lazy, those not disturbed by troubles, those consistent in conduct, the intelligent, there who win glory.
Tina, please.
The inclusive, the makers of friends, the kind, those rid of stinginess, those who lead, train, and persuade, those who win glory. There who will. Giving here and treating equally in worldly conditions as befits them in each case. These ways of being inclusive in the world are like a moving chariot's linchpin. If there were no such ways of being inclusive, neither mother nor father would be respected and honored for what they've done for their children.
Okay, Khoa, please.
But since these ways of being inclusive do exist, the astute do regard them well. So they achieve greatness and are praised. This was said, Sigalaka, the holder's son, said to the Buddha, "Excellent, sir, excellent," as if he were writing the overturn, or revealing the hidden, or pointing out the path to the lost, or lighting a lamp in the dark, so people with good eyes can see what's there. The Buddha has made the teaching clear in many ways. I go for refuge to the Buddha, to the teaching, and to the Mendicant Sangha. From this day forth, may the Buddha remember me as a lay follower who has gone for refuge for life.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's all. Let we do the 3 refuges after this, okay? Before we finish everything. Okay, let's move on. Move on to our lesson today. Okay, let's see here. That's great then. Okay, thank you for your reading. Okay, and this type of sutra is pretty easy to understand, right? Right, Amy, can you summarize what this type of sutra is about? How it starts? Remember?
I mean, it started when the householder's son was praying in the different directions, and so it was explained like each direction kind of like represented a different like quality or like aspect that you should look for in like yourself and the people around you, and what you should avoid in like bad people and versus like good qualities.
Last time we talked about women rights, right? Remember? Right? And in this passage, you see that the Buddha provides the guidelines for the husband and the wives in equal right. Is that right? How about you, Tina? You recognize us that passage, Tina? The passage
Yes.
that the Buddha talk about the husband responsibilities toward his wife as well as her husband. That as well as the wife's responsibility toward her husband. You recognize us, Tina? You hear that? Yeah.
Sorry, you cut out
Oh,
at the
really?
last one.
Okay, so probably next time I need to use the other computer. Somehow it has a problem. So you understand my question, Tina?
Yes.
So how is that?
They both serve a purpose, like independently and also to each other, depending on if they're just like depending off of each other or if they have a family, they have certain duties that they have to uphold.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Elizabeth? What do you think? What do you think about that passage, the responsibilities of the spouse, the husband, the wife?
I think for the most part,
Huh?
I feel like for the most part, it's still pretty relevant to today.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain parts that are kind of outdated in some ways, but that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm talking about the husband and wife relationship, right? In
Yes.
equal footing, right?
Yes.
So there's no way. And in Buddhist tradition, there's no, sometimes, but it's still rare. But most of the time, Buddha mentioned about this type of equal footing between the husband and the wife. It's quite different from Confucius traditions that the husband has the power at home, right? Emmy, you recognize that, Emmy, right? So that's the thing we talk about, right? That's why somehow, especially in China and Vietnam, we were influenced by Confucianism. So that's why somehow they say that the husband to be the host of the house. And if the husband pass away, the wife need to rely upon the oldest son. You understand that? Right. So what do you think, Tony? Is that update or we need to follow that orders? What do you think, Tony?
Could you say that again? You cut off.
Oh, really? Sorry. Okay, somehow. Okay, my point is that because we were influenced by Confucianism, right? So it's say that uh, when a girl stay with their parents, of course, their parents should take care of that girl. But when she get married, she had to be depend on her husband. When her husband passed away, she had to be depend on her elderly son. Let's follow the order. So what do you think? Is the update?
Um, I think now it is kind of out of date. I think it's different from other people. I think now a lot of women, they can live like on themselves by themselves, and
Mm-hmm. How about you, Khoa?
or sometimes it's switched where like the husband.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Khoa? What do you think?
I think it's pretty out of date because even after like they don't have their husband anymore, they could still be independent with themselves and they could survive without like needing help.
Mm-hmm. No, okay. You know why the Chinese communists they promote Confucianism around the world? They set up what they call Confucius Institute. I don't know whether at your school down there,
Heidi, you keep
Savannah,
cutting out. And
Yeah.
you have that in Savannah, Elizabeth. Do they have the Confucius Institute there?
I don't think so.
How about you, Emmy? At UVL, do they have that?
There's not one at my school, but there's one at the University of Kentucky.
Oh, UK, huh? So they don't have
Yeah,
a UVL, huh?
no.
How about you, Tony? Do you have that? Tony? Mm.
We have one. I've heard of it before, but I'm not.
How about you, John? John from St. Louis. You heard about that Confucius Institute? What's your
Confucius.
school? John from St. Louis?
Well, single.
Yeah. Yes or no?
I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think so. I'm not
You don't
sure.
think so? All right, Jonathan, you know what's mean? Confucius Institute, you know what's mean?
No, Tay.
No, huh? Okay, he's too young. Yeah, they set up at some college and university, but the many American people goes against that type of institute. All right, anyway, so let's just go back to our lesson today. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so go ahead, Khóa, can you read please?
On the third day, Siddhartha heads out into the city in his chariot, and this time the devas produce a corpse. Seeing the funeral procession from a distance, Siddhartha mistakes it for a parade, but wonders why those participating look so miserable. Chandaka explains that the man has died and the death is the inevitable fate of all beings. Still more deeply troubled, Siddhartha returns quickly to the palace.
Okay, can you summarize please?
So Siddhartha went into the city with his chariot, and there were the devils. They were like they had a dead body, and they're like bringing the dead body like through the city. But Siddhartha thought that was a parade, and he was questioning why everyone was so sad.
Okay, go ahead, Tina, please.
You cut off.
Oh, Tina, please go ahead.
Are you on when Siddhartha?
No, on his fourth and final.
Okay. On his fourth and final excursion from the palace, the Devas create an image of a wandering, renunciant. Those tranquil and composed face captures the gaze of the deeply agitated Bodhisattva. Chandaka explains that this is a person who has gained equanimity by renouncing the cares of the world. Immediately, Siddhartha resolves to follow his example.
Okay, what's about?
When Siddhartha returns to his palace, he is surrounded by beautiful women who play enchanting music and dance before him. When he falls asleep, they lie down to rest. After a time, the Bodhisattva awakes and gazes upon the sleeping women. Some of them are drooling, others snoring and grinding their teeth. Suddenly, the women whom he had once seen as sexually arousing appeared to him like corpses strewn about a charnel ground, prefiguring his future moment of enlightenment to the profoundest truths about the nature of human experience. Everything before him speaks of transient suffering and death.
Okay, summarize please, Tina.
So he went on an excursion, which basically is like he was going away from the palace, and they like set up like I guess a party or whatever of women, and he saw them sexually aroused, or like he saw them as like really pretty or whatever, and then he fell asleep after he got tired. And when he woke up and he saw them sleep, he wasn't really attracted to them anymore.
Okay, yeah, let me okay, let's see, I'm sorry. Okay, let's move to the next one. I think it's better. Okay. Okay. All right, go ahead, Emmy, please.
The Bodhisattva's decision to renounce society was tested in a final scene before his triumphant going forth into homelessness. While Siddhartha is said to have married at age 16, he did not become a father until he was 29. On the very day that he resolved to leave his family behind, he learned that his wife Yashodhara had given birth to a son. His response signaled his sense of estrangement from worldly concerns. He named his son Rahula, which means impediment.
Okay, yeah, let's stop here. Let me show you this. Thank you. Summarize first, Emmy.
Um, basically, on the day that he decided to go to like leave the palace and go on the path of becoming a monk, he found out that his wife gave birth to a son.
Okay. So if you were him, would you still move on, or would you need to stay back to take care of your family's Emmy? What do you think?
You cut out Thai, but I'm guessing you asked if I was him, would I leave or would I stay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you stay back, or would you need to live like him because he just has a son?
Um, well, I mean, if I was him, he already set his mind to it, so I think I would just leave.
Hmm. How about you, Tony? If you have a son, but somehow you really like to take up for your spiritual path, would you go, or you have to finish or fulfill your responsibilities? Tony?
It's a good question. Um, I mean, I would think I would do what the Buddha, because didn't he come back later sometime and
Mm.
explain?
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jonathan? Can you hear me, Jonathan?
I think that
Yes, Thai.
So let's say if you want to do business overseas, right? But now you have families. It means your wife just got a son. So would you take off, or you need to stay back to take care of them?
Um,
What do you think?
Business overseas, I'd
Mm-hmm.
probably stay back.
Really? And if you stay back, you may
Uh,
lose the business over there. How can you do? If you stay back, you may lose the business over there. What do you think?
yeah, but family's family, right?
Okay. So which one you value more? Families, making money, having some kind of position in society? Which one is more important for you?
Probably family.
Oh, really? How about you, Khoa? Which one you choose from?
Um, family.
Family. How about you, Tina? Which one you prefer? If you were in that situation,
It was if I would stay with my
huh?
parents. What was the question about like staying with parents?
No, no. Okay. Let's say you have family. Let's say you just have a son, all right? But you need to
Hmm.
go overseas to do business. So which choice? Stay back with your newly born son, or would you take off to take care of your business over there in like Vietnam and so forth?
If there's like a way, like if I had, I would just look for a job that would like support me in my situation rather than just like moving and leaving my son or just having me and my son move over to where I need to go.
Mhm. How about you, Emmy? What do you think? If you were in that situation, how can you handle? You put either one, not both. Let's say they don't allow you to do online because you're a doctor, right? You need to go overseas to see a patient there, but you need to take care of your son and their daughter here. So which choice you need to pick up? The
Well, I mean,
children
my
or your
family would
business?
be more important.
What's that?
My family would be more important.
And you may lose the jobs over there.
Well, Thai, if I'm a doctor, I can find another job.
Okay. Oh, you're Elizabeth. What do you think? Which choice?
It's hard because I would assume that I have somebody else that is also the caregiver to my child.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in all honesty, my immediate thought was to go for the job
Really?
because
And let
there's
them, and let,
because
what's that?
because there's somebody there to take care of my child, but also there are other ways for me to be able to be in contact with my kid
Mm-hmm.
while not physically being there, but
Mm-hmm.
still having the opportunity to work at the place that I'm working at.
Mm-hmm. So this is the dilemma or the situation that you may encounter in the future, right? And you know, there's many parents, they work from Monday to Sunday, from especially for the nail salon shop people owners. So they work from 9 to 9, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. They would not see their children much. They just value the money. And what happened then? When their children grown up, they would not have any kind of connection with their own parents. I'm actually in Houston. This one lady, she has two little boys. So somehow, because she need to go out to work, I mean that do the nail works, and she work 7 days per week. And somehow, when a couple years later, she tried to take up one Sunday to stay with her two boys. And so somehow they say, I don't need you. I can stay with my babysitter. That made me her surprised. You follow me? You guys follow me? So be careful. This is the aspects that you need to decide, or you need to be prepared when you grown up, whether you value the families more, or you value your job or your wealth or your position more. Which one you value, which one you emphasize, which one you want to hold on, right? So it's not easy, not easy when you have to deal with that couple of situations. Okay. So uh, if you stay home, you lost your job. Of course, you say, okay, I can find a job from here and there, but still, in some instance, in some profession, it's not easy to find a job in your area, local area. Hmm. You follow that, Jonathan? Yeah. Okay. Let me show you another one. Okay. Let's. I hope that you can watch this. Okay. Mm. Okay. So here is what we call this day. And other sacred literature. This stage lasts until marriage. Hindu marriages are traditionally arranged by the parents, and the bride and groom commonly do not know each other until the time of the wedding. Though customs such as these are changing, especially in urban areas, many Hindus adhere to the traditional way. A contemporary young woman named Vimla, whose marriage was arranged, reasons, "We don't choose the family we're born into, we adjust to it. So why should we risk choosing our marriage? It's too important to be left up to individual choice." In the second stage, that of the householder, the worldly tasks of pursuing a career and raising a family are central. Women are involved in this stage along with their husbands. The birth of the first grandchild marks the beginning of the third stage, the forest dweller stage. A man may choose to ask his wife to accompany him through this stage, which allows him to retreat from worldly bonds, sometimes literally by dwelling in the forest, in order to engage fully in a spiritual quest. The fourth stage is that of the sannyasin, or wandering ascetic. This stage is for forest dwellers who are ready to return to society, but remain detached from the normal attractions and... Okay, you guys follow this clip? Right, follow that? Tony, can you summarize what's about?
So like there's 4 stages.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know like the first one, but like I know like the wife, there's a stage where the wife stays with her husband
Mm-hmm.
when when the child is born, but then there's a stage where once that child is born, I think the husband goes off to detach,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
then
the grandchild.
the grandchild, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a stage where he comes back.
Without need attachment. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the 4 stages in Hinduism. Right. The first stage, yeah, you stay home with your parents when you're still young. When you're under 18 and when you're above 18, the second stage, you have families. And I don't know whether you heard about that. That even nowadays in India, they have what they call arranged marriage. You guys heard about that? Right? In Vietnam, it's still rare nowadays, but before actually, probably your grandparents' generation, not your parents' generation. So now it's still rare to have that type of arranged marriage, but it's still outdated. So again, so that's the second stage, right? You have families, you have children. The third stage is what they call forest traveler. That means they leave everything behind when they have grandchildren. And the last stage, yes, they become a teacher, spiritual teacher, and come back to society to teach others. So these are the basic steps in Hinduism, the 4 stages of Hinduism. And that's why when the prince Siddhartha, he saw the monk, that means Hindu monk, the one who left his families to become Americans, to wander around, to seek for a spiritual path, to do meditation, to seek for liberation and so forth. So that's just the stages in the past. Okay, let me show you another clip. Okay.
West for its beaches, but some visitors come here with other plans. Several hundred have left behind Europe, the US or Australia to be ordained as Thai Buddhist monks.
You free yourself from a whole pile of difficulties and suffering which are an integral part of a non-religious life. There are difficulties, there are sacrifices to make, but these are things which are a part of the decision.
One of Pra Asoka's mentors is the American monk Luangpo Sumedho. He donned his saffron robe 46 years ago and is one of the most respected foreign monks in Thailand. Buddhism appeals to him for its pragmatism and the fact it's not focused on a god.
There's something very appealing to the Western mind about Buddhism because it isn't, doesn't demand that you believe in things. It is not a theistic approach.
But making the leap to a disciplined monastic life isn't easy. There are many rules to follow, including sexual abstinence and isolation from the wider world. Pra Ashal, an Australian who entered monkhood 35 years ago, says around half of the foreign monks he's known have given up.
I've never met one who regretted trying. Every single one of them has left with confidence in the Buddha's training and gratitude for the community and feeling happy that they tried. And usually they leave because they feel like it's too hard for them.
While most Western visitors to Thailand may return home feeling they've experienced a slice of paradise, these foreign monks who've stayed the course hope to experience a whole new level of enlightenment.
Okay, how about you, Emmy? What do you think? Can you summarize what's about Emmy?
It's just basically about Westerners leaving their country to go to Thailand for staying in a monastery.
Jonathan, what do you see them? What's about them, Jonathan? What's special about them?
They left like their life behind, like their past and stuff, and then like they went and they tried it. Some people gave up, but then they feel like they don't regret their decision to do it.
Okay. How about you, Tina? What do you think about them?
I feel like they're pretty dedicated to what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to sacrifice some things in order to have that type of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Hua? It surprised you that you've seen many Westerners that become monks?
I mean, yeah, I find it kind of surprising because like they left a lot behind to like pursue like a new life,
Mm-hmm.
and like they didn't regret either, so which is good.
Okay. How about you, Elizabeth? It surprised you? Have you seen any Westerners monks, Western monks before, American monks before, Elizabeth?
Yes, I have.
In person.
Yes.
Where?
There was one at my temple for a while.
Really? In
Yes.
Savannah? Oh, okay, okay. How about you, Vân Anh? Have you seen any Western monk before?
I don't believe I have.
You sure? You sure? They came a lot. They came to my temple a lot of times. You don't remember? You didn't pay attention, huh? How about you, Tony? Have you seen any American monks before?
I feel like I've seen one a
Where?
very long time ago.
Where?
I think at one of the temples I used to go to when I was a kid. I think I saw one.
In St. Louis?
Yeah. It wasn't like it was a very long time ago, but I think I'm not sure. It could have just been a white man that was praying. I don't know, Ty, a long time ago.
Okay. How about you and Jonathan? In Houston, have you seen any American monk? Where is that?
Yes, Tay.
Where?
At a, do you know Joe Mom?
Oh, I see. Okay. You
Yeah.
been there? You went there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. How many of them? Couple of them or just like one of them?
There was one Western and then there was one Indian when I was there.
Is you surprised? Why?
Yeah, a little. First time I went, I was little surprised.
Why are you surprised?
I didn't expect it, Tay, and then I.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, John? In St. Louis, have you seen any American monks that you seen in person?
I'm not quite sure, but I think I have, but I don't quite remember.
Okay. So Tina, you know why they give up? Why did they give up everything to become a monk? Why is that? Because they didn't care much about life, or why? You know why?
I don't know specifically why, but I think probably because they wanted the lifestyle where it wasn't about like materialistic items, and they wanted to attain like a sort of enlightenment and clarity.
How about you, Elizabeth? Well, why? What do you think? Why they give up everything to become a monk instead of pursue their career and so forth?
I think like the other monk in the video said, they were attracted by the teachings of the Buddha, and that they wanted to follow his livelihood and his lifestyle and spread that to other Westerners just to be informative.
Okay. How about you, Tony? You know why? Why did they give up everything?
It's kind of like what Tina and Elizabeth said. One of them said that they wanted to like attain like some sort of enlightenment, but the other one said that like Buddhism, a lot of them got really interested in Buddhism because like there's no God. It's not like centered around that. So they just could follow just teachings, and it's like if they don't want to do it, then it's fine. They could still leave, with that knowledge and being happy and trying and no regret.
All right, let me ask you this question, okay? Have you ever encountered a situation that you have so much homework to do, you have so much things to do, that somehow you want to give up everything so that you can take off a couple of days or a week in the forest to leave everything behind so that you can calm your mind? Have you had that type of instance, Emmy? If something overwhelm you?
Usually, if something overwhelms me, I just take a break to release like my frustration, and then I get back to doing my work.
How could you take off from the break if it's so much for you? It's so overwhelm you.
Well, I mean, I still try to do it, and then if I don't finish something, then that's just something I don't get to finish.
Sometimes you may stay late, right? 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning to finish up your job, right? Your work and your studying too, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Tina? You have that type of instant that is so overwhelmed and you want to give up everything. You want to stay away from a couple of days and a week and so forth. You have that instant?
I wouldn't say to give it up, but maybe just to take a break from it for a while, depending on when the deadline is.
Mm-hmm. Take a break. I don't talk about. I know you guys would not keep up, right? You want to take a break. How are you, Jonathan? You have that kind of instant before?
Yes, Ty.
How?
Like, how did I handle it?
Mm-hmm. It's so overwhelmed. You want to take a break, or you want to give up, or what? You want to step away, or what?
I mean, yeah, I just stepped away for a little bit, and then I came back and I finished it.
Good. How about you, Khoa? You have that kind of instant?
Yeah, I usually just take a break.
How?
Like I could like
hang around with your friends or what?
I'd probably take like a small nap. I'll wake up and do it after.
Okay. All right. How about you? How about you, John? John from St. Louis. Have you ever had that kind of instant?
I'll say somewhat, yeah.
How about you, Tony? Do you have that kind of instant?
Yeah, most definitely. That's why I like having camp every year, because it's a week where I can get away from things.
How about you, Elizabeth?
This is specifically like I'm an artist, and so sometimes when you're creating things, it doesn't go out the way that you want it to. And so you just have to take a break and put it away and then come back to it later, whether it's a few hours later or a few days later, a few years later. Sometimes you have to give it time to rest, like you need rest. So
yeah. So again, in the future, right? Whether you are a doctor, engineer, artist, or whoever, so if you involve in some kind of demand professions, especially doctor like Emmy, there's a lot of stresses, a lot of responsibilities, and sometimes it may be overwhelming for you, right? Right. So, and you have to be ready. You need to find out some way that you can take a break, not to give up, right? But you have some space for yourself, right? So that you can take a break to regain or recoup your energy. Otherwise, if you don't know how to recoup your energy, if you don't know how to step away or take a break, um, you may have some kind of breakdown situation. Or have that kind of situation before, breaking down. She got too young to have that kind, right? Jonathan, you have that kind of moment breaking down? Yeah.
No, Ty.
Never, right? How about you, Elizabeth?
I don't think I've had a breakdown because of work before. Other things.
How about you, Tina? You have that?
I wouldn't say it's only because of work. I guess it's just things going on while having a bunch of work to do.
How about you, Tony?
Yeah, I don't think I've had one about work, but I've had it from other things.
How about you, Emmy? You would not have that kind of problem, right?
I have before.
You sure?
Yeah.
Really? How could you handle it? How could you handle that?
Usually, usually I just talk it out with my friends.
What's that?
Usually I just talk it out with my friends because usually they're sometimes going through the same things, or it just makes me feel better to talk about it with someone.
Okay. All right. How about you, Khoa? You're still young, right? Still young to have that kind of experience, right?
Yeah, I've never really had that experience before.
About John, you're still young, right?
For what?
Yeah.
What's it for?
Breaking down.
Breaking down?
You're still young, right? Too young to have that kind of experience, right?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so this feel critical, right? But be careful. Don't let yourself to come to that kind of situations, right? And you have to be prepared. You have to have some kind of space. You have to raise some kind of creative ways to deal with those kind of situations. So don't let yourself to have that type of situation. Okay. All right. Let's finish up. Okay. Let's John, little John, you still here, like little John? Let little John. There is little John. Can you hear me? Okay. Go ahead. You guys recognize little John? Elizabeth, recognize him?
I can't see his face properly.
Oh, move the computer in the other side because the light shine to your face. They could not see your face clearly. All right. Okay, good. I want you to do what do you call the three refuge, right? Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, let me turn on. Yeah, go ahead, John. Okay, little John. Okay, everyone, please put palm together. Okay, little John, do it. Ready, little John, go.
To the Buddha I return and rely, vowing that all living beings understand the good way profoundly and bring forth the Buddha mind.
1, 2, 3.
To the Dharma I return and rely, vowing that all living beings deeply enter the Sutra treasury and have wisdom like the sea.
1, 2, 3.
To the singer I return and rely, vowing that all living beings form together a great assembly. One.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So before we end today, so again, thank you. Let me ask you a question. I'm concerned that toward the end of this month, early May, most of you will, or all of you will have final, right? Right. So you want to continue for this Saturday, or you want to only 4 days, Monday to Thursday? It's up to you. This is still for you to learn, right? So I'm pretty concerned about just starting. What do you think, Emmy? It's okay to us to continue this Saturday, or you think 4 days is enough? What do you think?
I mean, most of my finals are, so if it's next Saturday, I'm already done with most of them.
Okay, so you still fine with this? You fine with this Saturday?
I'm fine, yeah.
Okay. How about you, Tony? Where's Tony? What do you think?
Yeah, I had like one final this week, and then I have a couple in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So you think 4 days, Monday to Thursday is enough, or 30 minutes per day?
I think the Monday through Thursday is fine. Yeah, it's only 30 minutes, so it's not that bad.
But
But if
Saturday,
I do get
Saturday 1 hour is too long for you guys, right?
I think it'll be okay. If anything, I'll text Elizabeth.